should be live. Let me go ahead and check. It says we're live, but are we? And the answer is... Yes, we are in fact live. Awesome. All right, hello everyone. Ace here. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest Nathan X 2000.
Thank you again for having me. I anticipate the shit show this will be.
And thank you for being on. And today we are back with some more Star Wars The High Republic Adventures. The Battle of Eriadu begins, which is a very convenient follow-on from last week's comic, The Wedding Spectacular, which
So
Nathan...
this is directly after.
I assume so, although I do notice that these two characters are not in their wedding attire, which is what was promised at the end of the last one.
Although they have some weird bands on the wrist, the right wrist.
Yeah, that's supposed to be some more sort of wedding bands.
Yeah. So okay, so this does take place after a wedding.
Theirs.
Hmm.
So yeah, I assume Nathan wasn't present for the wedding spectacular itself, but he did at least. Did you actually see the stream after?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh boy, these two characters, they made them to be the most evil couple of all time. They unironically were, one of the characters was saying, I feel like someone's about to die. And then then the other character tries cheering them up saying, well, today could still be about our happiness. The people that could be just about to die could just be our enemies. And this cheers them up and it says, you know what, you're right. I know just where to start. Seriously, the Red Wedding was less bloody than what these two get for their wedding.
Jesus, it was that bad.
Judging from all the chaos that they were going to get into, so... Because as soon as the wedding ceremony ends, they all get into a melee to fight the Nihil. So Nico says, High Republic, so soon after the tsunami that was the wedding special. You're taking on more than you can handle, Ace. Just know that. Paul Schlock says, more Yaddle. Yeah, Yaddle showed up.
Oh shit, Yaddle.
Yeah, Yaddle showed up during the wedding spectacular. Not Yoda, though. Which I didn't realize at first, but this looks like Yoda here, not Yaddle. But Nico says, Nathan, your voice is too low so far. Yeah, I don't know why. You might want to bump up your...
I did change the volume on my mic. Is this any better?
There we go.
Okay.
Alright, good. Zachary Spencer says, hi. Hello, Zachary Spencer. Holy Thunder King says, Star Wars, my love, what have they done to you? You do not want to know.
What haven't they done to Star Wars?
Don't answer that. Disney will find a way. So, let the carnage begin. The Jedi and the Warden, Part 1. Written by Daniel Jose Older. Illustrated by Harvey Talabau. Cover art by Michael Attea. By the way, for those who don't know, apparently Michael Attea has been a artist for Star Wars comics for way, way longer than you might think. He apparently was doing artwork for some of the Star Wars Empire comics. So he's actually had some work on some comics that are actually good from back in the day. But I'm also wondering how... I have to assume that basically whoever the illustrators are just not good at their jobs, and it's making him look worse as well, because, well, if you try to color in something that's not very well drawn in the first place, it kind of is not going to make you look good either, is it?
No.
So I think that might be a thing going on there. But anyway, so we got Daniel Jose. Let's see how many people actually... Oh yeah, that's another thing. Do you want to know how many illustrators they had for the wedding special?
Let me guess, 8.
8, yes.
Holy shit, bang on.
8 separate illustrators for a comic that had 32 pages total.
And let me take a wild swing. With 8 artists, let me guess, the quality of the drawings had not improved. In fact, they were absolutely terrible.
Not only have they not improved, but because of all of these different styles that were going on, it was not even tonally consistent. It legitimately... Have you seen the steamed hams, but every second or whatever is a different artist?
Yes, I have. Yes,
It
I have.
looked like that. It actually looks like that. That was what it was. That's how jarring it was the whole time. And where that was a meme, where it was done for comedic effect, the Wedding Spectacular was supposed to be this big celebration of all these great illustrators. Quote, great, unquote. So yeah, it ended up being a massive shit show.
8 different fucking comics. Jesus Christ, why?
Because they wanted to do an everyone is here sort of situation. Regardless of just how well or bad that would go. Anyway.
Surely shouldn't that be about the story rather than the goddamn artist?
Mm.
Fuck me.
Alright, the Jedi and the Warden. So we have 3 people. Okay, so getting back to number of people that had to read the plot of this comic before it became publicly available. Got Daniel Jose Older, Tyler Smith, and Jimmy Betancourt, so that's 3 people there. Then we have an editor, 4, an assistant editor, 5, a senior editor, 6, an associate editor, 7, and the story group, which is 8, 9, and 10. So once again, 10 people had to read the plot of this comic before it became publicly available. Holy Thunder King says, I know Disney has violently butchered Star Wars, but I have a feeling this comic is just going to make me miserable. I'm thinking Last Jedi miserable. Oh, you have no idea. Oh.
Poor boy. Poor boy.
Watch the clashing art styles go, Bert. Yeah. Nico says, why is Daniel taking up so much of the High Republic lately, or have I just been unlucky enough to keep showing up on stream where he is the writer? He seems to get a fair amount of the stuff, I will say, too. Despite the fact that he is clearly the worst writer of the whole group that are involved with High Republic. Paul Schlock says, there's no reason to have 8 artists with 8 different styles drawing that comic. Correct.
Exactly.
Hurt Chain says, yo, Ace, it's the genocide wedding comic. Yeah, I know! Oh yeah, they were plotting about how they were going to wipe the Nihil from existence entirely as well as part of their wedding gift or wedding celebration. So, you know.
That does indeed sound like the revamped Jedi that I've come to know and despise in modern Star Wars.
Yes. Yes, it does. Stormrain says, out of context, genocide wedding sounds wild as fuck. In context, it's not a whole lot better. Because the context is supposed to be Star Wars, but, you know, this is Disney Star Wars. And these are supposed to be the heroes. So it still ends up being wild. It's just the people who think these are heroes are, you know, genuine scumbags.
What do you mean you don't approve of these 2 murderous space lesbians getting wed on a planet that probably cost a war to go through? How dare you not approve of them? Your entire organization and all your people must be wiped out. We are the good guys. We are the good guys because we say we're the good guys.
Yes.
Also, yeah, since when could Jedi get married?
Well, that's the thing. The one character isn't a Jedi anymore. She left the Order.
Oh,
and all the Order is just showing up as friends to her wedding. All of the Order.
Right, okay, right, but no Jedi can show attachment, can't they? So that leaves one of them.
The other one wasn't a Jedi to begin with. She just was Force sensitive, and the Jedi decided not to make her a Jedi or teach her how to the Jedi philosophy, but taught her how to use the Force.
So they taught her how to use the Force in the middle of a fucking war with the Nihil, where a lot of the Jedi are pretty much getting killed, because that's what happens in wars.
Mm-hmm.
It happens with the Old Republic and the Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm.
Happened with the Republic and the remaining Jedi during Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just let a Force-sensitive person that they full well knew and trained to just not be a Jedi.
Yeah, and not learn the Jedi philosophy of things like...
So they get all the perks of the Jedi without having to commit to being a Jedi.
Without any of the responsibility or sense of discipline of being a Jedi.
I don't understand why some people are getting paid millions at the head of Disney. Why don't people like the High Republic? It is consistently shit. Well, have you seen who is consistently some of the authors?
Mm-hmm.
I make no fucking... I mean, to be fair, this comic would have to pull something special out of his arse in order to sort of top the comic that we last read. Do you know the one where the two people went to the planet and they were chased by the Char Hounds to find the encryption?
Ah, yes. Yep.
Oh, this should be good. This should be absolutely amazing. Carry on.
Hurt Chain says the Jedi jumped the space wall. Yeah, they did jump through the space wall somehow, too. And that was never explained.
Fucking what? The space wall?
You know, the storm wall.
Oh, the storm wall, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Yonro really needs to finish building that wall. And the Jedi just have to go back.
We're gonna build
my
storm
God.
wall. We're gonna make the Jedi pay for it all.
My God, there's so many ways I can make jokes about that.
All of them equally more entertaining than reading this fucking comic all day, which we haven't even started yet.
I guess that means
that the
Jedi are the Star Wars the High Republic Jedi are the Star Wars equivalent of the cartels. They have their own private army. They're crossing the border. They're crossing the wall, and they're getting into fight with child soldiers, and they're getting into fights with the locals and trying to kill the local Nihil.
Pretty spot on. Can't find a flaw in it.
Their logic was essentially the same as landing on the sun at night so it isn't hot. Yeah. Storm Rain says, oh dear, that hurts my brain. What kind of sun changes temp during... Okay, he missed that one. Paul says, they built a space bridge over the space wall. No, the sun doesn't change temp. I was referencing the old... the bad guys built a space wall to stop all interstellar travel. Just a Good Friend says, clearly not sending the best, so the Jedi got through the impossible space wall by going at night. Yeah, it's stupid as fuck. They could have reverse engineered the Nihil technology by now and found ways to get across the space wall, you know. But
that would have been 100 times more interesting for them to have done.
They might still need to rebuild their fleet, but you know, the benefit of having to rebuild your fleet is you can basically rebuild them all with the brand new tech to get past the storm wall built in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and actually get into the comic. Star Wars: The High Republic. The Battle of Eridu. The Battle of Eridu has begun. The Nihil, commanded by the Warden, savagely bombard Eridu City and Briefrang City from the land, air, and sea, inflicting devastation on the planet's scattered forces. Fortunately, Lula Talasola and Zinrala have just joined the fray, mere moments after their marriage at the Ark Royal Cantina. These young freedom fighters have led their rambunctious wedding party into battle. But whether these brave revolutionaries can change the tide of war against such a ruthless enemy remains to be seen. Revolutionaries? Motherfucker!
Freedom fighters and they have some fucking cheek.
Revolutionaries, they're returning to the Republic. The Nihil are the closest thing to actual revolutionaries. Actually, not only that, but the Nihil are also the closest thing to actual freedom fighters. It is the fact that they're doing... see what I mean?
I often find that people that actually say freedom fighters and revolutionaries have no idea what the fucking term means, and this is just par for the course at this point.
Yes. Holy Thunder King says, if you think about it, Jedi philosophy is quite similar to Buddhism or Gnosticism, aka material world bad as a religion. Fair, but there is more to it, I think, than that. But, yeah, it is inspired heavily by that kind of philosophy anyways. Hurt Chain says, let the genocide wedding commence. Well, so our so-called freedom fighters are reactionaries, not even freedom fighters. This is the first page. Yes, exactly! You could unironically actually refer to Lula and Zine as reactionaries, and it would actually stick because they're trying to return to the Republic!
Also, right, freedom fighters, let's not forget that these two are the ones that sent two entire populations, one population of pacifists and the other population of the locals, to fight against each other just so they can mack it up lesbian style later on.
Yes.
What freedom was bestowed upon those poor locals that had no clue they were dying for a homosexual romance?
Freedom from life?
I'll take that, yeah, true.
Freedom to not be in a High Republic comic anymore?
Oh, Valhalla for them, Ace. Freedom for not having to witness a cringe kiss. God, they were lucky.
Storm Rain says, this reminds me of, I think, the Sonic Archie comics where they were opposite freedom fighters that fought against freedom rather than for it, Lamau. I mean, there are there are cases, there's absolutely cases where people will claim to be freedom fighters that are fighting for the opposite of that. Absolutely. There's a reason why, during World War II, a lot of the Axis propaganda stuff, like some of the stuff the Germans would put out, would declare as Hitler was going into Eastern Europe, they would declare him to be Hitler the Liberator. There's actual posters of his portrait, apparently, which just has Hitler the Liberator in Russian that are out there, as a good example of just the sheer dishonesty of freedom fighter as a word.
That's a cursed phrase. I'd never thought I'd hear you say Hitler the Liberator.
Yeah, it was an actual thing, believe it or not. Storm Rams says, been a hot minute, so apologies if that ain't the right Sonic Comics. Okay. So one's with Sally Acorn. Okay. Holy Thunder Kings, but I'm nitpicking about definitions. Let's see how bad the comic actually gets. Storm Rams says, if I found out I was in a High Republic comic, I would absolutely fight to be free from it. Hitler the Liberator, I wouldn't say freed, more like under new management. Yeah, that is true. Not for long, though, considering what he tended to do to the people that were under his new management in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, didn't look at them too fondly.
No, he did not. So let's go ahead and continue the madness. Okay, already the artwork is, yeah. See, this is what I mean by the illustrator really screwing over the color artist. How the fuck is he supposed to make the art? How the fuck is the color artist supposed to make this look good when the illustrator does this to the panels?
Yeah, there's a weird hue over like the original drawing. Take away that weird creamy hue and all. Like the artwork looks pretty good.
I honestly think that hue is there because otherwise it would be, one, it looks like it's a memory segment of some sort, and two, let's be honest, this would just be a plain background and we'd be complaining about that. And rightly so. And I'm still going to complain about that because there's no background. The colorer is actually trying to put in a background to make up for that fact.
What fucking background? It's a black squiggle.
I know. Holy Thunder King says, "What is that blue creature? It's so hideous. I know it's most nitpicking again, but the ugly characters don't improve the story most of the..." Oh, you see nothing yet. You have seen absolutely nothing yet. Stormrain says, "Good lord, this hurts to look at as an artist." Yes. I'm not an artist, but yeah, you... Anyways, let's go ahead and start. You want to voice Farzala, and I voice Orbertuk?
Sorry, you guys remind me which ones round they were.
Farzala is the blue.
We covered this storyline.
Farzala is the blue one.
Okay, and he's a child, though. But Master Orbertuk, I thought we were doing lightsaber training today. Why are you teaching me this knife dance?
Young Farzala, dancing contains one of the most important lessons a Jedi can never learn, especially the burning dagger promenade.
Whoa, what lesson?
How to dance, of course.
Huh?
There will be times when it seems the fate of the whole galaxy hinges on the tiniest decision you make. Great and terrible times, indeed. In these moments, you will have to choose. Will you dance with the flow of the Force, or will you become a boulder against the tide of history? You must dance, even in the storm. To do this, you must hold with your memory of your body the memory of having danced in the calm. Only then can you truly know how to let go and rise. Understand?
No.
Good! You will! For now, just dance! Oh my god.
Me. I love that, just like casually knife fighting with a fucking child.
There's a reason, I mean, the Jedi lightsabers, training lightsabers, are still lightsabers, but they do have special safety mechanisms built in to prevent accidents. Where's the safety mechanism for this? Are the blades just dull? They don't look dull to me.
No, in fact, the artist has made it a point to make the sides on either of the knives shine.
Yeah. Which is a problem. Stormrain says, "I love how unintentionally hilarious this scene is." Holy Thunder King says, "Okay, I'm out of the loop. When it comes to these comics, what is the context? I don't remember any of this knife dance training." Neither do I. This is the very first that they have established knife dance training. This is the very first time we've actually seen it in the entirety of the High Republic comics.
Oh, Actually, I think I can provide some context about the knife dance.
Okay.
You see, there was this ancient civilization within the Star Wars universe called England, and they were very proficient for using blades. So now they are training each other by threatening to stab each other. Highly efficient, let me tell you.
Now. Alright. So, yeah, already... I like how some of these wedding guests are probably getting blown away, and the two lovebirds here are going to they should have it on their conscience of that people that they loved died during their wedding as a direct result of them choosing to go to battle immediately after. But these two are psychos. They're not going to think of that in the slightest.
Yeah, as we've already seen, it doesn't matter what happens to everyone else as long as these two are fine. It's whatever happens, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So Holy Thunder King says, so a retcon on the second page. Maybe this retcon will serve a purpose. Watch as it doesn't. Oh, it might, but it will. It's going to be the dumbest purpose of all time. Paul Schlock says, I prefer gun kata. Indeed. Alright. So I think that is your character's Farzalla's inner monologue, so that would be you for there.
You think it's... Okay, you think it's the blue dude?
Yep.
This is it. On the heels of a wedding and so much joy, the Battle of Eriadu begins.
Look out! We've got Nahil incoming! So we're already seeing some of the cringe artwork taking its place again. Just poor quality line work. Because once again, the eyes are crossed. Or she's just got a lazy eye there that just is veering way off far too much. Which is another reoccurring theme in these comics. Anyways, you want to voice the other chick?
Yeah, we'll do. I'm just looking at the cover, and they've tried to fit so much stuff on one screen, but where they could have spared themselves, like, not having so much on screen, they could have then focused on the detail of the eyes instead. It's like the effort's gone into all the wrong fucking places, which I think can summarize a lot of this, like, New Age Star Wars stuff up. They focused on the wrong thing. Take defensive positions and return fire. This is one of the times my master spoke of. I can feel the heavy tide of history sweeping over us. I only wish he could be here to guide us, because when I close my eyes, all I see is death.
Farsala! Come on, this way! You alright?
I'm grateful Lula, Zine, and Savran have taken command and seem to know exactly what to do.
Considering what these two have done, or to some of the previous people that they have led into battle, I wouldn't be so confident in their leadership skills. Because one of the things they did previously was lead two groups of civilians to their deaths, fighting each other, just so they could then reunite in Mac. Holy Thunder King says, if these two lesbians are Jedi, then they're not following the don't follow form attachments part of the Jedi Code very well. Oh, you have no idea just what they have done to the Jedi Code with this series. I will say that this character is not a Jedi, used to be a Jedi, but isn't anymore. And this character was never a Jedi in the first place, technically. But yeah, it's still nonsense. Stormrain says, okay, am I high or does the lion weights look very samey? Don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright. So I guess I'll continue on. It sounds like there's more fighting in Eridu City. Comms are scattered. We're heading to the bay to find out what we can.
With you. This way. We'll know more once we reach. Oh no! It's worse than we thought. Sit tight, everyone.
So wait, they're flooding stuff now, or what? I mean, I could see the big battle in space as well, but...
It's hard to tell what's actually going on because the size of the ships they don't look like accurate to the rest of the image. It feels off the scale and feels off to me.
It does. It really does. It also doesn't help that some of these ships are pretty poorly drawn as well.
Yeah.
Like, this is yet more really, really atrocious stuff here. And the buildings are, of course, once again, not detailed. When you can expect more detail from CGI in the 80s to your hand-drawn comic, you know you've fucked up royally. Holy Thunder King says, turns out a wedding in the middle of a war zone is quite dangerous. And yeah, this big panel with fighting is just terribly drawn. Mm-hmm. Many years ago. You wish to see me, General Weiss? And you in a voice, General Weiss?
Fuck it, yeah, sure. Ah, yes. Her wind ticks. Your entire squad was wiped out, I'm told.
Yes, General. It was an unfortunate necessity of the mission.
You weren't the commanding officer. Sergeant Detrell was exhibiting poor decision-making.
I think that's mine.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, sorry.
Because, the speech bubbles are also...
Yeah, because, like, it ends right at the side of her face, so it looks like
I
she's
know.
speaking.
I know. Yet another case of them screwing up. I know. Sergeant Detrell was exhibiting poor decision-making that put the mission at risk. Overly sentimental, you could say. Once he was out of the way, all proceeded per protocol, and our stated goals were achieved.
I see. When this cursed uprising is crushed, you'll join my team of mercenaries. Now, listen. In my ranks, you either rise or you die. You go way to the top and wipe out everything that gets in your way. If you won't do that, then just stay here in the mud. You are everything or you are nothing. Are you in?
Absolutely, my general.
Very good. Now, let's go exterminate some vermin.
Eridu City now. My life changed that day. It put me on the path I'm on today. Led me to the Nihil, to glory and disgrace. And now perhaps redemption. But everyone I've met since has managed to betray or disappoint me, including General Weiss. Warden, sir? What is it, Drigget? Valdevardis is here. You, paragon of mediocrity. I turn around for a mere moment and open war breaks out in Eridu City and Bree Frang. And the Tarkans siding with the Republic?
I can only do so much, Warden.
As a reminder, the Delvardis clan is the only member of Iridu's ruling quintet that just declared for the Nihil, sir. Disappointments, traitors, and mediocrities, all of them. Yes, for all the good it's done. What news do you bring?
Our combined forces on Silverlight Bay are struggling to hold back the Tarkan's navy. And I've gotten word that the Nihil are being pushed back in Brifrang if the Republic fighters assist the Tark.
Begin the bombardment of Brifrang. So wait, he's gonna this guy absolutely would shell his own dudes because he's done similar things before. So you know what, I'll let that one slide. But yeah, well, so let's see what we've got here for the comments. Holy Thunder King says second flashback I think 7 pages so far. How many flashbacks are we going to get? I don't know. I didn't know this was going to be flashback heavy either. Especially with yes, that was definitely a bit of a surprise. Also, though, I'm certainly not a big fan of what they've been doing to the artwork, and they seem to have almost given the Warden here a bit of a character redesign because his face now looks even more different. His face looks different than what it normally does, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm not sure I like that change, but then again, is there anything to really like when it comes to High Republic? You know, aside from the blade. Stormrain says, to be honest, do we really need the inner monologues on this page? How little do these authors trust the audience? Well, I have a sinking suspicion that the authors are at war with the audience at this point. Holy Thunder King says, here the issue is I have no reason to feel attached to any of the characters on the page. Correct. That is another problem. It is because none of these characters are really likable at all. In fact, most of the Jedi end up being outright despicable throughout the High Republic. So you really learn to dislike and despise them instead. And it's not intentional. They do try to depict them as heroes, it's just they fail so spectacularly. Anyways. Sir, attacking Brifang will liquidate any last goodwill you have with the people of Iridu. There's a long-standing... I don't care about ancient prophecies and folk tales.
You may not care, but the people of Iriadu do. The destruction of Brifrang is the destruction of our planet, it is known. I will remain loyal to you regardless, my Warden, but my forces will never take part in a large-scale direct attack on Brifrang.
For months, I warned General Weiss that Iridu would be the fulcrum point upon which this whole war would hinge. She ignored me. Now she and the rest of the pathetic Nihil leadership are scrambling to reach us. Very well. I see I am surrounded once again by cowards who lack imagination. Soon General Weiss will have to learn her own lesson, that you are either everything or you are nothing at all. Send my mounted division to the edge of the city. Bring us into the battle below. What the hell is up with that fat Warden drawing on the bottom left?
He's a chunky boy.
Did they model him after Big Chungus? What the hell is this?
A big warden.
Holy Thunder King says his face changes in the same page. Did they use multiple artists for the same page? I don't think they did. In fact, let's make sure we're on page 11. Okay. Yeah, there was only one illustrator and one color artist. So no, it's just that the artist, the actual illustrator, is that incompetent.
Yeah, because if you go onto page 10 and you look at the bottom right, you can see that his mouth is circular and it's full of like pointy bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the panel above it, circular mouth, pointy bits.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the left, circular mouth, pointy bits.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom left of that page, there's no pointy bit on the side of his mouth. Go to the very next page, no pointy bits, regular mouth. Go to the panel below that, pointy bits on the side of the mouth. Go to the panel below that, pointy bits on the side of the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Go below that, pointy bits on the side of the mouth.
Yeah. Alright.
The shape and the pointy bits are not consistent. Who the fuck is drawing this person?
Briefrang. I love how some of these characters are still smiling while in the middle of battle. Like Lula up there. Or
Yes, civilians are dying all around us, but, you know, we're girl bosses, we slay.
no, Zine, my mistake, because these two characters are so utterly forgettable, I keep forgetting which one's Lula and which one's Zine. Which, considering how long we've been with these characters, is not something you want to fucking hear. If you're the writer. Anyways. I think that's Severo, which means that's your character.
I need to get to my command center to coordinate forces.
We can escort you across the bay and then...
Lula.
Okay, I'm just going to stop for a moment. Why the fuck didn't she start at the command center to start off the battle? Oh wait, because she was at the fucking wedding. And now they're having a command and control problems, specifically because she went to the fucking wedding.
Strategize and overcome. Nah, we need to get wedded, Beth D.
What? What strategic genius?
We don't need smarts. We need girl power.
Stormrain says, they sure do enjoy war, don't we usually call those psychopaths? Holy Thunder King says, wow, that artist does not have consistency in their art style. I have some inconsistencies too, but I don't draw for the High Republic comics. Yeah, I know. You're not drawing for a Disney comic. These guys are. In fact, this is a Dark Horse comic too. Because of course it is.
Don't remind me, Ace. Don't remind me. Getting flashbacks of all the time when they used to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Alright, let's continue.
I would like to put you and Zine in charge of my honor guard, if you'll accept. You have treated me with honor for these past months, and I haven't always deserved it. Let me earn it now.
Boys? Do it. We have some of the fiercest Jedi in the galaxy here helping us. We'll be fine.
Just keep us updated.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask, Court, you've been on Eridu the longest and are well immersed in the community here. Would you do us the honor of leading the forces heading into Eridu City?
You must.
Only if my brother Farzala will be my right-hand man.
Of course.
All right. The main thrust of our forces will cross the bay. If the comms are still dicey, we'll follow around the sounds of fighting. We must link with whoever else is holding off the Nihil.
You want to voice that character too?
Yeah. The Republic has somewhat on the way. They've been embedded in the hills, waiting for this moment.
How? They're trapped behind the storm wall.
Plot device.
Also, again, I'm going to bitch about the artwork. Look at the character right beside this dude to the right. Look at the face.
I was fucking hoping you'd mention the artwork.
Bucktooth. The two eyes are once again not looking the same direction.
The fucking red dude, the one who's speaking in the damn panel, has sideways eyes.
Yeah, but the bucktooth person with the eyes pointing two completely different directions is something else.
Yeah, the one like the yellow crystal on a forehead.
Yes.
Also, right, look at the weird, so, do you know the blue dude in the middle of that panel? Do you see the green dude on the left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one, he's not looking so confident about the attack plan, like he's casting doubt on something.
Yeah.
And then look to the dude to the left, the red rock dude.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that meant to be?
Oh, you know the guy that runs the diner in episode 2?
Dexter Jetster.
That's Dexter right there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Oh my boy, what have they done to you? Look how they've massacred my boy.
Now we know why the other characters look depressed.
Jesus, like, even look at the old man on the left.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's not an old man. Oh, yeah, that old man. Yeah, yep. He looks like...
Fucking mole.
He does!
Like, it looks like the war has woken him up from his 1,000-year nap and he's just crawled out of the ground.
Yep.
Also, right, they're in the middle of a war. There is a war going on. A lot of action. A lot of stuff we could be seeing. A lot of impressive action sequences. Like the last comic we read with the Charhounds. There's a lot of action sequences that could have been had. A lot of stuff we could have seen. Not seeing any of it. Where's the action? Why are they all talking? I swear to God, this comic is going to be like... This comic is Dragon Ball Z's this comic is Star Wars version of the Dragon Ball Z Namek arc. They'll just have entire episodes dedicated to talking. Another one to fighting. Another one to talking.
Mm-hmm. I remember the Namek arc taking forever. But at least it was interesting.
Exactly.
Yes, it was basically plodding along and keeping and trying to keep you engaged for as long as possible because they were waiting for Toriyama to finish up. But at least, it kept you engaged the whole way through. Part of the reason people complain about it is because they were waiting to see what would happen next, because it was that engaging. This is not engaging.
I mean, I suppose it helps in, like, Dragon Ball Z's case, because everything was animated. This isn't animated, this is just, like, static images. They're not moving, they're not fluid, they're not speaking.
Hell, I'm gonna go even further. Neon Genesis Evangelion has a lot of moments in it where they just have still frames.
Yeah.
Even that is done a lot. Well, that is done partially to save on budget. It's also done to build tension, though. So they did actually do it as a somewhat of an artistic choice, perhaps not the one they would have wanted to do. And there are some very glaring examples of we just ran out of budget and need to have something here for a minute or two. So let's have a song play while this dude is grappling onto another dude and is about to kill him. But yeah, the point is, even that still ends up being more engaging than this because, again, they were able to do it smart and actually have tension because of things like good writing. But yeah, Laughing Cavalier says, how is the character of Geode doing these days?
God, I miss him.
I miss Geode too. Stormrain says, for real, it's kind of surprising how tight budget led to the most creative solutions. That, sometimes also I've heard some pretty interesting innovations in gaming came from controller restrictions or controller limitations. For example, do you want to know the first... Okay, so when it comes to RTS games, one of the most important innovations was the interactive mouse cursor, which means that the mouse, if you clicked on a unit, it would instead of needing to select a move command and then telling it to move on the mouse, or select attack and then having it attack something, you could just mouse over whatever you wanted to attack or move to, and it would move to or attack whatever, right?
Yes.
You want to know what started that?
What started it?
The Sega Genesis port of Dune 2. Because Westwood couldn't figure out how to separate move command, or how to get players to do a move command or attack command using the limitations of the Genesis controller. So they had it so that the cursor would automatically do an attack or a move depending on what you were clicking on. So that key innovation, one of the most important innovations for RTS games, came about specifically because of the controller limitations of the Sega Genesis.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Alright. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to go away from talking about stuff that is actually interesting and go back into High Republic.
And the Republic Defense Coalition has a whole fleet at the edge of the storm wall, preparing for an attack.
Okay, so wait, hang on. So why the fuck are they at the edge of the storm wall if they're preparing an attack? Couldn't they prepare an attack a little closer to Eriadu?
Well, how could they get across the storm wall, for one thing?
Yeah.
Two,
So
how do
if
they
can
know...
now get past the if they can now get past the storm wall, what the fuck was the point of the plot device?
I don't know if they can. And also, too, how did they relay the message to them? Because there's no way for them to relay messages quickly across the storm wall.
Yeah, they can't.
Stormrain says, like, for example, Arcane's painted BGs were cost-cutting measure, and it worked in the show's favor. Stormrain says, interesting, the more you know. Alright, let's continue the madness.
Excellent. But we can't count on support anytime soon, especially with the comms all awry. It's on us, and we need a team to stay here and brief Rang. There's an urgent, mechanical situation that needs attending. If only Ram was here. I'll go. Who do you think kept our fleet up and running this whole time? I'll join you, Master Tani.
Perhaps I could be of service as well, if it's connected to the Akariel in any way.
Also, this is the level of artwork that we've come to expect from High Republic. Stuff like this.
Yeah, this is regular shit.
Yeah, where there is no facial features really drawn, or like the one kid with the freckles on his face that just don't look right at all. Holy shit. Okay, now this I can actually bitch about the person that did the color work on. Look at the lips on the bottom panel.
Why the fuck are they indented?
Why are they indented? Why aren't they colored in all the way?
Look at them. Look at the yellow hat soldier on the first one on the right. Why the fuck has he got a black squiggle for a lip line?
Because he's in the background.
Ah, yes, clearly not important.
We're lucky he has that squiggle at all at this point. Laughing Cavalier says the storm wall sounds like it was run by the Biden administration. Oh, God. You know, that would probably explain it. I'm starting to see more resemblances to him now. What with Markion Rowe canonically sitting on his ass for months on end, not doing anything.
I can imagine Markion Rowe climbing a massive set of steps to board a ship, and he starts tripping on the way up.
Grew up being taught by a bunch of backstabbers how to backstab. I'm also starting to see some more connections there. My God. Laughing Cavalier says, bro, look at this dude. Holy Thunder says,
dude.
Holy Thunder King says, he or she is called Master Tanny, but we shall refer to it as Master Bucktooth. A good idea. Let's see. Let's the campaign continue. Think that's your character.
If it's the old dude, I've already voiced him. The blue dude, you.
Oh, right. I skipped a panel. You're right.
I don't blame
All right, Imosine, can you take them and a small team of fighters to you-know-where?
On it. Hey, everyone, crossing the bay with us. Our rides are here.
1, 2, 3, for light and life.
Fucking kill me now.
Oh yeah, they butchered that during the wedding spectacular. They all cheered by saying for light and wife.
Oh, that's cringe.
Yes, it is cringe. And the person that wed the two of them was Maz Kanata. So, yeah. Alright. Let the cringe continue. And yes, yes, this artwork, which is supposed to be epic, is really let down once again by the art not being good again.
Oh, it's atrocious. None of the riders have faces. Some of the riders are on surfboards.
And this
Some
is
of the ships have
also
no riders at all.
This is also par for the course for High Republic.
Oh my fucking ace. Holy shit. Do you see the blue dude in the middle?
Yes.
Look to the left. Look at the brown bitch.
Ah, those eyes! Oh
She's
no!
like a fucking. She's like a slug.
The dude on the right too.
The
woman in the blue, one of her eyes looks fucking off. I love how they're also cheering. They're all smiling and all happy. Oh my god! They even okay. So you see on the left-hand side, towards the middle of the group, the younger blue alien with the skull on the face.
Yeah.
They gave him an uwu face.
Oh, there's even the pink bitch on the right that kind of looks like Greta Thunberg. Oh, it's one of those images that it gets worse the more you look at it. Oh, that's disgusting.
The kid on the right, on the left-hand side there with the buck tooth. Although, to be fair, that's a kid, so that's not unforgivable.
Yeah, I'll give him a pass. He's excited and he's lost his front teeth.
Then you have the one alien whose whole plot backstory is he became a villain because his he became a villain to pay off his student loan debts. The one rat-looking alien on the right there. Look at his eyes. Look at the size there.
That bitch is bulging.
Holy Thunder King says, this is so bad it's actually becoming good. No, it's just bad. Lev Cavalier says, and they couldn't be bothered with background characters, or the foreground for that matter. Yeah. Yeah. Stormman says, also, holy cow, I don't remember there being this many Space Slendermen. Stormman says, ah yes, the most evil thing, student debt. Yeah, and yet this dude still just casually walks around with thermal detonators all over the place. By the way, he went to the wedding with his family carrying a whole bunch of thermal detonators, thinking that all the people at the wedding would try to kill him.
Taking explosives to a wedding must have been an Iraqi wedding then.
He brought his family, though, too. His wife and kids. You know, to a wedding where you're bringing thermal detonators. As you do.
As you do. Casually.
Iridu City.
The Jedi and their allies in Briefrang are the single greatest threat to our cause.
You want to voice that character?
I think that's the woman.
Alright.
Mr. Warden, sir? But I can't bomb them to oblivion? Absurd. What is it, Barogue?
Okay, I'll voice the alien dude.
There's a small fleet of Republic fighters approaching the city from the outskirts.
They must have been embedded since before the Stormwell crossed us. Redirect our fighters to intercept them immediately.
Ah! The Ryadu forces are attacking.
Protect the Warden!
I love how he's shouting that mid-explosion, as he's still flying through the fucking air.
It's like, Mr. President!
Yes, it is.
Holy Thunder King says they didn't even put Master Bucktooth in the picture. This is preposterous. Wait, why is there student debt loans in Star Wars? Because there is. You have to remember, modern Disney writers think that everything that's fictional actually relates to real-life politics in one way or another. So they have it in them to try to make things as more resemble real-life politics than they already do. Which is why you get characters whose sole motivation is student loan debts. Holy Thunder King says, explosion with no warning. Another great writing choice by the writers. Lefty Cavalier says, oh God, there's more? Oh, you know there's more. We've still got 9 more pages. Greetings, Warden. Zang, 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 zang.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that robot's the best thing about this comic so far. I love him, he's cool.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to give him a robot voice. I'm X10, Destroyer Droid. I have been personally dispatched by Markion Ro to assist in the annihilation of enemy forces.
Brilliant. Head to Brief Rang. I have someone on the inside who can assist you. Wipe out any Jedi you see, and anyone they're with. Don't come back till they're in the dirt.
As you command, my Warden.
Warden! We're being overrun. We have to get you out of here.
Pathetic. Bring me to the Star Hopper, and have the block carpet bombed immediately upon our clearance.
We'll never be able to evacuate our wounded in time.
They're useless to me now. We'll blame the Tarkans for the bombing and take the propaganda win, since that's all they're good for anyway. Now go!
Carpet bombing an entire city you're at war with, trying to get the propaganda with. This Biden comparison's really starting to worry me now. Bomb Palestine, blame it on Hamas. We could use the win.
It's Trump's fault that the eggs are so expensive. Even though they were laid when Biden was president.
Stay tight, everyone. The Nihil gunboats are clunky and don't maneuver well, but their shots pack a punch.
You know, voice this character?
Yeah, it's probably a one-shot character anyway.
Hey, turn the turret! Turn the turret!
Arr!
Why is he even going R for? They didn't even strike anywhere near him.
I don't know. That's how it's done.
No, it isn't. If it was, this would be properly drawn. Holy hell, look at that panel!
Oh, right, okay, so also, like, why the fuck are they dragging their lightsabers across the sides of the ship and then the entire ship explodes?
Good question. We'll never know.
Wait, hang on. So does that mean that the Nihil are putting the energy batteries on the side of the ship, which would be a massive design flaw, because that would be the first place that would get hit in a fight?
Yes. Then again, this is also the same universe where the Jedi put the main reactor of their space station outside of the space station, exposed to all the elements in space, meaning that a stray blaster could hit it.
That's retarded. I'm having an aneurysm.
Holy Thunder King says, isn't High Republic meant to take place thousands of years before the prequels in the original trilogy?
Yes.
It's meant... Actually, no. High Republic is meant to take place about 200 to 300 years, maybe 400 years before.
Oh. You know what he means. He doesn't, like, maybe not literally thousands, but way in the past.
Oh. Well, yeah, it is in the past, though. Well, in Star Wars... You have to remember, the Old Republic does take place literally thousands of years before.
Yes.
Or says, everything is Trump's fault. Things become better. Trump didn't do it. Trump didn't do it. Yeah. I noticed how quiet they got about the whole Colombia thing. As soon as that leftist president there immediately bent the knee. Stormrain says TDS in a nutshell. Oh, yes. Laughing Cavalier says, Star Wars is a franchise that can be defined by a single word. Holy Thunder King says, at least this chapter demonstrates the destructive power of lightsabers, which later on can kill Sabine in the Ahsoka. Oh, man. Oh, they're not even consistent with that. We've seen characters get hit with the lightsaber. Like, one character gets sliced in the back and just leaves nothing but a little black scar. You know, after
he got a boo-boo on his back.
Yes. Laughing Cavalier says, I think the Acolyte was like 130 years before the prequels or something. Yeah, the Acolyte is in the High Republic setting. It's a little later in the High Republic setting, but it's still technically within the era of the High Republic. Holy Thunder King says, okay, so I got the Old Republic and High Republic mixed up. Wait, is so high about the High Republic anyways? Are they smoking weed? This is supposed to be the golden age of the Republic, is why it's called that. This is the golden age. This is the Jedi and the Republic at their absolute peak, their absolute zenith. And they're getting their ass kicked by space pirates.
What is so high about the High Republic anyway? Are they all smoking weed? No, but the writers and the authors are.
Yeah.
The design team is.
I mean, even William... From what I understand, didn't William Shakespeare used to smoke weed a little bit back in the day?
Fucking, that would be news to me if that is.
Oh,
if he did.
I think he did, if I remember correctly. I might be misremembering that, so let me check. Because I think... It'd be really funny, though, if that was the case. That William Shakespeare likely... Okay.
It says that the results were not conclusive. There's no evidence that Shakespeare used the title and smoked them. That's a shame. That's a real shame.
Apparently there might have been also... Wait, that doesn't sound right. So he might have, but it's not conclusive.
Basically, yeah, it's still left up to, like... It's a bit of a mystery. Because it could have been his wife.
Could have been. Laughing Cavalier says 420, Blaze it, bro, Henry V, Chapter 3, William Shakespeare. Or says Shakespeare took the old shamanic root drugs. Tobacco just been brought over. Might have been that. Correct. Let me check. I'm curious to see where marijuana originated, because that might...
Some contained residues of nicotine and cocaine, likely from Peruvian coca leaves. 4 pipes found at an excavation site in Shakespeare's back garden bore a chemical signature similar to that of cannabis. The results were not conclusive. There's no evidence that Shakespeare used the pipes, let alone smoke them.
Okay, so marijuana itself apparently came originally from Asia and China. So just because they had tobacco or not doesn't mean that marijuana didn't exist in Europe at the time. Anyways, but yeah, it's inconclusive, but
That's a fun image.
Or it says Shakespeare's wife must have been high to enjoy her husband's bullshit. Alright, let's... But yeah, the cocaine thing was a bit of a surprise to me because of just how recent that would have been.
I mean, have you read Macbeth?
Yes.
That motherfucker must have been zooted on some, like, Peruvian nose powder to come up with that shit. Jesus Christ.
Alright. Now actually have a shot, or a panel, that doesn't look like complete trash. It only looks half trash. Because the stuff on the left actually looks passable. The stuff on the right, once again, we have characters in the background that are starting to look worse and worse on the details.
Yeah, I mean, the color contrast is pretty. The water effects are really pretty.
This is one of the few... This is the nicest looking panel in the entire comic so far. And probably period, let's be honest. If the entire comic looked like this, the plot would still be irredeemable. But at least we could say, well, at least the artwork was nice. Or at least okay. This should be the basic standard, not the absolute peak, though, is the problem.
How much money do these guys get paid to create illustrations like this?
Alright, Holy Thunder King says, didn't expect weed to be Asian. Does that mean Snoop Dogg was culturally appropriating the Chinese? He spoke weed over... Oh, God. There's a lot of stuff going on in the panel where it says, oh, look, the splash page that doesn't make me want to hit Alt F4, just delete. Laughing Cavalier says these tactics of charging en masse into space machine guns will surely work and not lead to massive casualties. Yeah, except they always seem to work for some stupid reason. Holy Thunder King says page 13 is easily the worst one so far, both art and plot-wise. Ura says, hey, this comic explain how the storm wall was breached? No, I thought so. Dyke Wedding 2 is important, I suppose. Yeah, I know. Alright, let's continue. Alright. You're up.
Yeah. Shink. And that should. Vroom. Quat. Watch out.
Zoom. Sure.
No. Quat.
Wait, did they just kill this droid that quickly? The droid that just got built up to be a Jedi killer?
Yes. The only cool character in the entire comic killed in a matter of 5 pages.
My feeling when I'm more emotionally affected by the droid that died instantly after being built up than I am a character that was been in this series since the very beginning. In fact, if anything, you know what? No, I take that back. I'm kind of hoping that we see this character finally fucking die. Alright, let's continue. The blast pierced my armor.
I'll get you back to Arco, Will.
No, you must stay and fight, Frizella. They need you more than I do. You must lead them now.
Very well, but make this pact with me. When this war is over, and we've won, we'll all gather on the Starhopper. Even if it's to see Lula and Xen off to their new life. Doesn't matter as long as we're all there, every single one of us. We all get through this. No matter what.
Frizella.
I know it sounds impossible. But if anyone can make sure everyone survives this, we can. Look at everything we'd already been through. Destruction still haunts my visions, but...
Before we get that, though, this one panel on the top right here on this page. Holy shit, is this, again, more bad artwork.
It's bad artwork and it's a bad vibe. What the fuck is Buckets of Blood doing?
Yeah, I know. And Farzala's face...
Hello, fellow children.
Farzala's face is creepy as fuck, too.
Jesus, like that right eye staring right at him.
Yeah. Alright. Let's continue the madness.
Get him to safety, quickly. Everyone else, this is it. We ride together. The people of Ariadu are rising against the Nihil. This is what Master Obratuk was talking about. Their fight is our fight. Their freedom is our freedom. The tide of history sweeps around us. We must move with it and one. We must move with it as one. And when we rise together.
To be continued. We still have this. Okay, so yet another issue coming up, because of course there is. Because we just cannot get rid of Daniel Jose Older, apparently. I noticed the Warden's not featured in the next issue's cover art, so that's interesting. And let's see what the comments are for this comic. 0, because no one is reading this. And that is exactly how it should be. This comic was absolutely awful. With the one exception of that one panel where the art actually looked halfway decent. Oro says, as Seath once said, I wish all of these characters a very merry retrograde ejaculation.
What a lovely image that is.
Holy Thunder King says, oh look, they're going to utilize the retcon from the first page. Hurt Chain says, this is insane. Laughing Cavalier says, Court is a man. Yes, he is. Holy Thunder King says, I was a fool to think Court was going to survive. He's a man, and he needs to get cut to make a female shine. Well, that's the thing. Farzala is also a man. You might not necessarily look it, because, you know, the way modern artists don't like making men and women look that much different these days, sadly. But yeah, Farzala is canonically supposed to be a dude. Holy Thunder King says, they're giving us a cliffhanger right as they foreshadow utilizing the retcon. Is it possible for High Republic writing to get any more peak? Yeah. Unfortunately, they'll probably take that as a challenge to aspire to, rather than something to avoid. But, yeah. Nathan, what are your thoughts on this?
What do you think my thoughts are? This comic was AIDS.
Yes, it is.
For all the art direction focused on the wrong things, oversaturated the pages. And the only thing I liked about this comic was the robot. I liked the robot. The robot looked cool. Very cool designed robot. Death machine robot.
And they killed it.
Killed 5 pages. It's exactly like the comic that we read last time. There's so much action happening around these characters, and yet none of it shown.
Mm-hmm.
Wasted fucking opportunity. It's a war. You're in the middle of a fucking war zone. Literally just give us a couple of panels where there's nothing but action. Where you're showing fighting. Like, finesse with lightsabers. This is supposed to be the highest skilled warriors in all of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they're just busting out Marvel quips in the middle of fucking combat.
Yep. So, yeah, it ends up being a massive, massive shit show of a comic. Or says, if we don't have a fucking death in this comic on the good guy's side, I'm going to go Minecraft throw Daniel into the lava. What is going on in the top right there? I don't know. I really don't know. Holy Thunder King says, sarcasm aside, this was a terrible issue. Not as bad as Last Jedi. I'll never forgive Ryan for what he did to Luke, but this was atrocious. Yeah, well, here's the sad part. As bad as this is, how would you compare it to stuff that's High Republic related? Nathan, are you there?
Sorry, my brain's trying to come up with a meaningful answer that doesn't involve me yelling words down the fucking mic. Because the High Republic is just...
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay, oh, right. Okay, sorry. What was the question again? I need to process this properly.
Alright, so this issue of the comics, this one
Yes.
issue here, how does it compare to High Republic on average?
On average, this was shittier than usual. But still par for the course.
I would say yes. This is barely below average for High Republic. Believe me when I say that some of the worst stuff absolutely, completely is worse than Last Jedi. Issue 5 of the first run of High Republic Adventures is worse than Last Jedi. The Shadows of Starlight series of High Republic spin-offs as a whole is worse than Last Jedi because of all the stuff that they've done to the Jedi lore there.
These comics are getting so bad. I'm actually wanting the Coom Spider to come back.
Yes.
I want the Great Coom Spider. At least that was funny.
Yes, it was. Also another one. Issue 1 of the very first issue of High Republic was worse than Last Jedi, because the very first thing they do with the Jedi Order is make them into bigger villains than the Sith by deliberately going around and putting civilized planets into peril just to see if their Padawans can save them as a test. And I do mean actual legitimate peril. People do actually die as a result of these tests. Random civilians do end up getting killed because of these tests. And it's done just to see if the Padawan passes. Holy Thunder King says, this is the first High Republic stream I actually watched, so I have no idea. Horror says, holy man, I missed most of it, but let me tell you. Search for the Bake Off special. That will tell you all you need to know. You will hear me discuss at it all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Holy Thunder King. Ace has an entire playlist of every single stream he's ever done for these bullshit comics. If you want a better idea about how AIDS this entire series and attempt at a new era in Star Wars is, go check that out.
So far, there's over 100 some streams at this point because we've been reading all the High Republic comics.
You couldn't fucking pay me to like watch all of them and relive half of them.
Apparently you could do it for me, though, because I'm going to be trying to compile the worst of and just do once the entirety of High Republic ends, and just do everything wrong with High Republic, and it'd just be a compilation of the streams with the very many problems within the comics.
Braver man than I.
Holy Thunder says, if Dexter hadn't been retconned into this issue, I could have ignored it and just acted like it's not a big deal. Retconning Dexter into this is what makes it so atrocious.
Yes.
Dexter's been retconned into this. He's been retconned into Phase 2 of High Republic, which takes place 100 years before this.
I could not agree more. Because Dexter, when he initially was shown, was quite literally only in episode 2 of Star Wars, and everyone loved him. He had, a 10-minute cameo scene with Obi-Wan, and everyone just still loved him because of the way he spoke and the way he looked. And now they're trying to, everyone loves Dexter Jetster, so we're going to add him into the comics. Fucking why? That was not the point of Dexter Jetster. Everyone loves him because he has a small cameo, he's a little kooky character, and just leave him be. You didn't have to just stick him in the middle of a random fucking era comic and give him this massive Jedi backstory.
Hurt Chain says, how old is Dexter, WTF? Here's the thing. If I remember correctly, in the original lore, in the old EU lore, Dexter's species is only supposed to live have a lifespan similar to that of a typical human. They had to actually retcon the lifespan of his entire species in the Disney lore just so they could have him in here. Alright, sorry. Anyways, but yeah, so they had to retcon him for, I don't know how long. So yeah, they had to retcon stuff like that just so they could have him in here. Holy Thunder King says, perhaps one day I'll subject myself through the full playlist, but not yet. Can't handle this much cringe on a Thursday evening. Yeah, and Oro says the compilation is going to be very stiff competition. Will it be 10 worst things or 100? It's not going to be that. It's going to be a full compilation is the plan. Just have as much of it as possible of the flaws bundled into one video. Regardless of how long that video is going to be. Hurt Chain says, very embarrassing. Holy Thunder King. All right. So yeah, so I think we are at a good stopping point here. I think I've said pretty much all I need to say. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Nathan?
No, I've pretty much said everything I need to as well. This comic's cringe. No one should have ever had the displeasure of reading it, and I cannot wait to go into my local nerd store again and see another pile of High Republic comics spilling out of the fucking shelves with each one being sold for no less than £1, which is dirt cheap if they need to clear comics on reduced. I've seen it multiple times with the High Republic, and I'm expecting it to happen again.
Yep. The one thing I could think of is maybe we should just use these to punish inmates in prison.
That would be a very good idea, wink wink.
Have Uncle Ruckus open up a High Republic comic and go, read!
Just let's see that particular dude try and shove it in his eye socket.
Alright. Anyways, I think we're at a good stopping point, so yeah. This has been it. Oh wait, Holy Thunder King says, if it wasn't for your amazing voice acting, wouldn't be able to read a single issue and survive. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, this has been Ace.
It's been Nathan X2000. Thank you again for having me with this cringe fest.
Thank you for being on board. Pleasure to have you on, as always. And we hope to see you all again soon. Take care. Ace out.